Today, I thought we would, and I've done this before, but I think it's particularly poignant at this time. What I like to do sometimes is have us all meet where we're the same. So normally when we meet someone, we meet at the level of mind, which is where you're from, what do you do for a living, what's your political affiliation, what's your background, what are your beliefs, and all that stuff. And that's perfectly fine. But that's meeting at mind level, and that's a meeting where we're all unique and where we're all different. What we don't normally do is meet where we're the same. So the purpose of this meeting today will be that. And especially in today's circumstances, there is so much division and contention, and people are at each other's throats. And what are they at each other's throats about? They're at each other's throats about their particular opinions and beliefs. People are extremely emotional because of their beliefs. And you know what this contention is about. We all have been dealing with it. So I don't go on either side of these debates. That's not my job. That's not my role. My role is to help people to recognize who they are essentially, free from their opinions and beliefs, free from the contention that's dividing us all. That's my role. So I don't get into debates about either side of these issues. I have my particular views, of course, about many things, but my role is not to debate about any of them. So with that in mind, I'd like us to meet, free from all of the contention and acrimony and division that is so present in the world these days. It's always like that, but now is a particularly heated period of anger and hatred, judgment and blame. Okay, so everybody please just be relaxed, but attentive, relaxed but attentive. You don't have to be stiff, and keep your eyes open, and just hear what I share and see for yourself what's true. So for a moment, let's just relax the focus of attention so that we're not attending to any particular object, like any particular thought, any particular sensation or emotion or sound. All of that is fine. But for a moment, let's not attend to any of that. Let's just allow attention to be blown wide open, knowing. You can't deny something, and that is that I am. You can't deny it. So you know that you are. So just for a moment, not anything in particular, but just know I am, period. One thing we notice is that this knowing, I call knowing, you may use the word aware. None of these words matter. I just have to use some words. This aware knowing is now, isn't it? It's only now. This aware knowing is also all inclusive, right? So when attention is focused on any particular object like thoughts or sensation, and that's all fine, that's part of the human experience. But when it's focused on any particular experience or object, then it becomes exclusive and limited. But what I'm sharing here, blown wide open knowing, is not limited, is it? It's completely ubiquitous, all inclusive. Everything is included here within knowing. And if you can recognize this, you can see that I, who I am not separate from this knowing. I am knowing. Knowing is my essence. Normally, we say, I am Sal, I am this body, I am American, I am whatever political affiliation. But I want you to know something different right now. I am, period. No word following the word am. Simply I. If you recognize this I, knowing, and recognize that it is now, then you will have to also recognize something very simple. And it's just being honest. Look now. The truth is, there is no past and there is no future. There is only this. That's what exists. Past and future do not exist. Those are thoughts only. What actually is blown wide open knowing now. I am. Anything other than this, blown wide open knowing now, anything other than this is thought, a story, a belief, a preference, a desire, a fear about future and past. And all of that is thought. For a moment, I say for a moment, without attending to any of those things, blown wide open knowing is no thing, simply here and now, I. And this is who you are essentially. Who you are is not male, not female, not American, not European, not African, not white, not black, not Democrat or Republican. Who you are is blown wide open, no thing. Be that. If you recognize what I'm showing right now, you see that all of there's nothing wrong with your opinions and preferences, but they're not essentially true, are they? They're just thoughts. Not only that, your preferences and opinions change, but you don't change, do you? You knowing, you don't change. Your preferences and opinions change. And even though your preferences and opinions change, you're very willing to beat the living shit out of someone else who has a different opinion than you. And that's what we see going on in this world right now. But I want us to come back to the essence of who we are, free of opinion, free of belief, free of preference, free of fear, free of desire. Here and now I am. Isn't that what the great scriptures have taught us about freedom, liberation, enlightenment, whatever you want to call it? Free of ego, free of mind. Who are you? Aren't you that already? But for a belief, a mistaken identity, but for that, who you are is already free, isn't it? So now you see what I wanted to say. Here we are. And if you can see, if this blown wide open knowing is true for you, it must be true for me too. Right? At the level of mind, at the level of preference, opinion, desire, fear, we're all completely unique, aren't we? But at the level of essence, there's no difference, is there? We're all the same. So this is where we meet. That's why we come here to this meeting, to meet in freedom, not to meet in preference and opinion, which is all fine. Everyone's entitled, but that's not the purpose of our meeting. Purpose of our meeting is to meet where we're all the same, free of animosity, free of contention, free of fear, free of blame, acrimony, so much of which we see today. Here at this meeting, we find our freedom. Let's have a moment now, here and now only, holiday. Simply blown wide open knowing. No past, no future. There's no Sal. Sal is not a thing. Sal is a movement, that's all. It's not a thing. There's no Sal. There's no history. If you recognize this knowing as your essential being, then you have to see, I have no history. I'm only now. I have no history. I am not what I thought I was, a story. I have no history. I am only here and now. That's what I am, here and now. I'm not in the now. I am now. No thing. You see? I am no thing. I am nothing. All of my philosophies and meanings and purposes, they have no bearing on truth, who I am. This moment has no meaning. It simply is. This moment has no purpose. It simply is. Who needs meaning and purpose other than ego? In truth, I don't need any of that. I simply am. Because I am nothing. If you recognize this, I am nothing, then I ask you a very simple question. Is nothing enough? And if the answer is yes, you're ready for freedom. Because that's the truth of who you are. No thing, no meaning, no purpose, no philosophy. What philosophy is needed here? Do you need your philosophies to be? Do you need your great spiritual teachings and philosophies to be? No. They have no bearing here at all, do they? No thing, nothing, no philosophies. no spiritual teachings, no purpose, no meaning, simply being, no past, no future, no history, no stories, no traumas, nothing, no thing, nothing, simply being. So I ask, is nothing enough? For the people who come here and come to my intensive, the answer is yes, and that's fucking wonderful. Because that means you're ready for freedom, means you're ready to be mature. It's what you've been seeking all of your spiritual life. You've been seeking nothing. You thought you've been seeking something, but you find out you've been seeking nothing. And now you know that's who you are. And this is where we meet, going back to the beginning of this session. This is where we are all the same in no thing, not in our opinions about how the world should be or something like that. That's where we're all different. That's why I respect everyone who comes here and who comes to the intensives, because what I share is very stark. It's this no thing. But if you recognize that, you see the freedom in it, the peace, the love, everything, you see all that, you know. The real love for the world is not in fixing the world and telling other people they're wrong because they have a different opinion about you. The real love is knowing that I know nothing and we're all the same. That's the real love, isn't it? Otherwise, we just have acrimony towards each other and dissension and contention. And I'm right and you're wrong. That's love? No, that's not love. That's because we believe our mind. We believe we know something. I know what's right. That's not love. Knowing what's right is not love. Knowing nothing is love.